Welcome to Two Non-Doctors. I'm Liz Mealy.
I'm Maria Shahada.
So much hesitation.
I'm pissed off. It's like they're changing my flatmate's windows, but just came unannounced and just right when we were starting. It was like, come on. So it's just bang, 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 bang.
Could they have let themselves in if you weren't home?
I don't know. Like they communicated to someone they were coming today. Just that message didn't get relayed to us. So like,
what a waste of time if you came. I mean, you already told me off camera that they came with the wrong window. So like they're already like, it already just feels like,
who are these guys?
In my mind, they're like, it's like typical British, like they're two Mr. Beans. You know what I mean? Like with no context, they're two Mr. Beans. They've dropped the window. They've broken the window. They've gone to the wrong house. They flirted with somebody that was in charge. Like they have clown like aspects to me already.
It's yeah, and like it just seems like two guys carrying a window, and then like someone tries to go through it, and then they bang their head. Just like that sort of cartoon. You can't hear that because it's so loud. Well, it's okay.
Now if I focus, I can hear a little bit of banging, but it's it'll be over soon.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just the timing. The universe does this shit. We had all day. It's 4 p.m. here. There's all day.
Yeah, I also I tend to, whenever something has to be done at my place, it's like, let's do it in the morning. Let's not too early because like people are sleeping, but like start of the day, let's get it done. People have lives. I love somebody that's just like, hey, it's the end of the day. We should probably, I don't know, make some noise, ruin someone's afternoon.
How are you, Muffin?
I'm good. I'm tired. I was in Buffalo all weekend, which was like a last minute booking, which was good. I mean, my numbers were terrible, but
no.
Yeah, I mean it was fine, but like almost every show, like I would have like 30, anywhere from 25 to like 30 people. We had one show that was maybe like 100, but like I averaged between 25 and 40 people most shows. And I would come out there and I'd be like, I told them, I was like, I don't perform for more than 25 people. It really upsets me. So I'm glad they listened because I like a lot of chairs. It makes me feel at home. Like it was just, it's like a 300 seat room and I have 25 people. But the big show, the show that had like about 100 people, a woman, I don't know, some commotion happened. I was probably like 15, 20 minutes into my set and it's like pretty loud commotion in the back. So, I'm just like, hey guys, what are we doing? And then I look and I can see a bunch of people gathered around an older woman. Then I can see the manager come over. Then I can see the other manager come over. And I was like, what's going on? I was like, are we okay? And nobody's answering me. And I can just see this woman that's in trouble and she looks very scared. And I was like, hey, are you okay? What am like, you know what I mean? Like I'm in this position where I'm in front of 100 people and there's all this commotion. And then I was just like, well, why don't we turn on the lights? And they're like, we don't have to. I was like, I don't like, why are we trying to save a show when a woman's in distress? I was like, turn on the lights, figure out, let's do what we got to do. I asked if I could do anything. She had at least, 7 people around her. So they turned on the lights. So then I literally talked to the audience and I'm just like, anybody have any questions? Someone was like, your hair looks amazing. I was like, thank you so much. It's so dirty. This is what I do to cover up dirty hair. Start making jokes. I talked to him for 5 minutes. And then I was just like, all right, let's see if we can seamlessly go into comedy. So I was in the middle of a joke. So I start from the middle. I was like, I don't know if you guys remember. This is what I was talking about. And then I just go right into it. And I performed with the lights on for probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. And then at some point they went down and it ended up being one of the best shows, but like I've never had anybody in distress. Like I think she ended up going to the hospital.
What was the problem?
So she threw up on herself, but it wasn't drunk. It seemed like medication. Like that's what the manager said. Like she forgot to take some kind of medication and something happened and her body was abandoning her in some way.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's some shit at a comedy show.
I know. And it was Mother's Day weekend. It was it was Saturday. And it's also like so funny where you're like, I'm not going to pretend this isn't happening. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm going to tell jokes while someone's suffering. Like, yeah. But as soon as she was like taken care of, but what I noticed is I was like asking, I was trying to make sure she was okay. But then everybody was looking at her and she was kind of like sounds really weird, but she was kind of like dead-eyed. Like she was clearly like either something was going wrong with her medication or she was like, so I was like, well, I don't want more people to pay attention to her. So at some point I was like, I need to get the attention off her. She's being taken care of, but I need the, what do you call it? What is it when you see a car crash? Rubbernecking. Like I need the rubbernecking to stop. So
Yeah.
that's when I started to pull people's attention, because at some point people staring at you when you're
Not
in
helpful.
not helpful at all. No, and it actually is just causing me more stress, because if I threw up on myself for whatever reason, I would not want people to be staring at me. So it was, yeah, it was weird. I mean, the nice thing is like, it's always nice to get compliments where like, they were like, you handled it perfectly. Thank you. Cause they weren't going to turn the lights on. I was like, turn the lights on. I was like, this is not worth, you know what I mean? Like this, and she seemed like an older woman. I was like, oh, but that's one of those moments. I've had a couple in the last couple of months where it's just like, oh, this has never happened before. 20 years in, new experiences. Just having new experiences out here.
I was at the Bill Murray, and the host was looking at this big burly man, and he was like, you look like you'd be great to hug. And the guy goes, a hug would be awesome. And I was like, oh, comedy's so different than it was when we started.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And they're both like, oh, guys, we're getting rid of toxic masculinity. I love this.
It's great. I was watching Hacks with my flatmate, and she was like, are men really like that at comedy? You remember when they go to the comedy club in Sacramento, and Adam Ray's playing a character who's the host, and he basically belittles Gene Smart's character. She was like, are men really like that? I'm like, up until about 5 years ago, yeah. And I was like, I really think Me Too changed a lot of the landscape, and like guys think twice about making comments like that, but it's pretty recent. Like,
yeah, and what dudes say behind your back isn't changing either. You know what I mean? Like, I'll say this. I feel like before they think you have power, guys are pretty awful, especially in the comedy world. But once you have followers, once you are working clubs, once you are like kind of a respected entity in the comedy club, you're no longer kind of seen as a woman. You're seen as someone that is in a position of power or as a coworker. And I've noticed that how I was treated when I was beginning is very different than how I'm treated now. Yeah, I'm funnier, but I'm still the same person. So what's changed? Well, I could help you, and also there's liability, because if I don't like you, I'm friends with the people that you want to like you. You know what I mean? Like, I know bookers, I know other comics, half the people some of these dudes are friends with or look up to, those are my friends. I have their ear. So I Me Too absolutely has its benefits, but sometimes, and you hear about this with racism, sometimes you don't fix the problem, you just push it underground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now you don't know who the pieces of shit are because they're not out there. They're not openly out there.
I know until we get some piece of shit president, and suddenly all those people come up from underground.
Yeah. They're
like zombies in a Michael Jackson, or any zombies, I guess.
But no, I like a good 80s zombie. So good.
Yeah.
They're moved. But yeah, it is interesting. I've had those experiences. I've had both audience members and comics just be super belittling, and you're like, dude, we're on the same show. Like, how do you think you're fucking better than me? Like,
yeah,
what are we doing here?
But it was more like sexual harassment-y. Like he was just like, he like was pretending to flirt with her, and she was like, I have two options, which is to play get mad, like play along, or get mad, and then I'm like not a good sport and I can't take a joke. Play along, and then I succumb to like whatever sexuality is on his terms.
Oh, I have a perfect example. I did a podcast. This is, God, probably like 8 years ago. I did a podcast. I'm the only woman on the podcast, and it's 5 guys. I pretty much know everybody except for maybe like the sound mixer that's like there, and having a great time. I'm friends with all these guys. I've known all these guys for years. having a great time talking about God knows what. At some point, my friend, who I've known forever, turns to me and he goes, Liz, your tits look delicious.
Ew.
I know. And I looked at him and I go, what the fuck, Will? Like, what the fuck? And he's like, what?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I know. I was like, dude, I was a person. I was a fucking person. We were talking about God knows what. And then out of nowhere, you made me a piece of meat. And not only did you make me a piece of meat, because I'm reacting this way, because I'm angry, all the comments are going to be like, this is why we don't like women. Women are the worst. They can't. And it was Robert Kelly hosting the podcast. Robert goes, well, let's go to the comments. And it was, they were just like, women have no chill. He didn't mean anything by it. Da, da, da. And it's like, it doesn't fucking matter. I was just a person. And then you took me out of it and you made me something else. Yeah. And I'm no longer part of the group. Why the fuck? We weren't talking about sex. We weren't talking about women. We weren't talking about breasts. And we weren't like just talking randomly about bodies. And he was like, well, Liz, you look pretty good today. There was no I swear to God, it was like an ADD sexual moment. And I was so mad because, and what's even funnier is afterwards, and you know what's, everyone was on my side. Will seemed like almost like kind of cornered. And then afterwards, Will was like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that. And I was like, dude, that's not an apology. I was mad at him for like years.
Yeah.
Years, because there was no accountability. He didn't think about it at all. It just, that's the kind of stuff that makes me crazy, because it's like, did I feel scared? Did I feel like anything bad was going to happen to me? Absolutely not. I know all these men, nothing, but it doesn't matter. In that context, I was a coworker and a person. And then with one fucking phrase, now I'm this thing people are looking at, this thing people are taking apart, this, I'm a thing. I'm no longer a person. I'm a body part. And I was, and I would not, even today, I wouldn't have handled it differently. What the fuck? Don't fucking, dude, you're supposed to be my friend. What the fuck were you thinking? And that's the kind of shit that you're just like, they don't think about it. Like, you're about to go on stage. They ask you what your credits are. You're like, hey, I've done this, this, and this. And you're just like, I'm fucking somebody that's done things. And they come up here and they'll be like, yo, Liz, she's a hottie, but she's done some stuff. And you're like, what's, cool, nobody said she's a hottie. What are we doing with the, you know what I mean? And you just like, stick to the script, Brian.
Yeah. No, exactly. It's you're just by like one, they can just say one thing, you're totally undermined. Everything you've been building up to, your however many years of comedy, everything you've done, boom, doesn't matter. Now you're just a sex object.
Yeah. And it makes you crazy, because this is you're already in a position where people don't want to listen to women, that you don't know every time you meet somebody if they value you or not. You find out by how they respond to you, how they talk to you, you know, how they listen to you, how they, you know what I mean? So we all deal with that every time we meet somebody. But then now I'm in a crowd of people, and I'm supposed to tame this crowd and entertain this crowd for anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour. And what you say beforehand makes a difference. Like I did a show, I headlined a show maybe like 4 years ago. And it actually started to change how I deal with like how I have openers. This guy in front of me, don't know him, seems nice or whatever, but he would shit on women for 20 minutes in front of me, like very sexual material, and literally shit on women. And not only is that difficult to follow because I am a woman, but also he's doing such sexual material that like I go out there and I'm like talking about cats and math.
I can't stand that. I hate when the host will like just like sex it up on stage and just start talking about all kinds of like shock value sex shit, and the crowd's like, well, like they love it. And I'm like, my first joke is like, yeah, it's just, come on. Like I can't build off sex. You're the host. You need to be responsible. You can kill on your set, your headlining set, or whatever, any other fucking set. But you're the host. You're supposed to like, you can't start it like,
can't start at anal. Where do we go from anal? Like, where are we going?
I mean, yeah, exactly.
Like, what? There's nothing to build towards.
Exactly.
And also, like, it just makes me crazy. So I said, I was like, hey man, can you maybe not like, can we like, oh, that's not even true. So that was that show, and I just dealt with it. The next time I was at that club, I was like, hey, I don't know what your material is. I'm making no judgment, but like, just, not too much sex stuff. and like, don't shit on women. And I was kind of said it flippantly because I don't know this guy. He made fun of me to the manager for the rest of the weekend behind my back. I was on stage. They like made fun of me and was like shitting on me. And I was like friends with this was the feature and the manager, and I was friends with the host. And I was like, fucking pieces of shit. Like, fuck. I was just like, it's funny. I don't remember him because I never thought he would ever be anything. That's how little, like if I thought maybe he might go somewhere, I might memorize his name, but I was like, fucking dude in Connecticut, good luck to you. Yeah. But like, that's the kind of stuff that even when I do advocate for myself, which isn't a big thing to ask, by the way, there's tons of people that I've opened for that have asked me to be clean, that have asked me to avoid certain topics because it might mimic their topics and they want to be the one. I open for Todd Barry sometimes and he got a cat, and it's so funny. I've always joked I'll never be in a position where somebody be like, hey, don't do too many cat jokes. And then I started opening up for Todd and he's like, how many cat jokes do you have? And I go, I only have one. He goes, 2 max. I was like, okay.
That's hilarious.
But for the most part, that's the thing that you've earned. You've earned the right to control this show a little bit. They've come to see you. This is your time. And your job is to make it seamless and set up the stage for me. So don't you fucking tell me that you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that makes you crazy. So even when you're in a position of power, they're still belittling you. And when I found out the manager was belittling me, I was like, you can all go fuck yourself. This is a shit club. Never coming back. I don't even know how we got on this tangent.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Patreons, people that support us, we are beyond grateful. You guys are awesome. If you do not know, you can become a patron, and for that you get weekly bonuses, you get monthly bonuses, you get stickers, you can get a signed book, you get access to all our downloads of all our albums, you can control our Googles, you can be a Google guest. So many fun benefits, and you guys have been wonderful. There's always some really fun discussions on the Patreon, and we are very much grateful for you.
Yeah, and you can follow us on the socials. We're on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Tune On Doctors. It's the number 2 full word doctors, and Instagram at Tune On DRS. And if you have time and you're feeling kind, will you leave us a rate and review on Apple Podcasts? Because it helps us out a lot, helps us get seen. We love it. We share it on our socials. And if you leave us a 5-star review, we'll share it on the podcast. Buy my album. It's on Bandcamp, mariashahada.bandcamp.com. That got released. I did that. Or you can stream it. And
Yeah, and I am still touring a little bit. It slows down. This week I'll be in Vegas, and then July I am in. So I think I'm pretty much off June. That might change, but Vegas is my last road gig in May, and then July I'm in DC and Atlanta. August I'm in Florida and Panama City and Pensacola and San Francisco, and then in September I'm in Greenwood Village, Colorado, which I don't think is far from Denver. Fan mail?
Cool. Yeah, let's do it. We have fan mail. Well, it's a YouTube comment from Dmitry. He says, "Hi, Maria. Could you give some advice about Invisalign? I'm supposed to get it soon and would like to be prepared. Like, when do your teeth stop hurting? Can you sleep well with it? Do you carry dental floss and toothpaste with you? Thanks for the great podcast." Thanks, Dmitry. When did your teeth stop hurting? Well, it's going to hurt a lot every time you put in a new, because what they do is like give you new teeth, like Invisalign thing. What are they called? Trays. They give you new trays every couple of weeks. I don't know how long. Mine was 10 days. It's however long they tell you to keep each tray in. And every time you put a new tray in, it's like pushing your teeth that much more. And so it'll hurt for a few days every time you do that. And then you get used to it and it's fine.
The first 2 days hurts the most, and then
and then you just forget about it. So that's fine. And like it is a little, it's uncomfortable, but it's nothing you can't deal with. And then can you sleep well with it? I slept fine with it. It didn't affect me sleep wise.
Sleep is the easiest part.
Huh?
Sleep is the easiest part.
Yeah. Yeah. You wake up in the morning and take them out and you're like, job well done, everybody.
Way to stay all together.
Do you carry dental floss and toothpaste with you? I do. Yep, I carry the case. I have a little baggie with toothpaste, toothbrush, dental floss. Although I didn't use the floss very much. Like if I've had like a meal that feels like it's in my teeth, I'll use the floss, but generally I'll just give it a brush, put them back in, and just floss when I was home. But you keep it just in case because you might get shit in your teeth.
Well, that
And you
was
don't want to.
my big advice to you when you first got it, which is because I got cavities and I had never had cavities before. I was like, I really think it was the Invisalign because I would like rinse my mouth and stuff. But I think the biggest thing to think about with this is the after effects of it, which is if you eat, then you just jam food. You know what I mean? Because then you're just like fermenting your food in your mouth.
Yeah.
So I think the
Yeah.
smartest thing you can do is bring like after every meal before you put them in is really brush your teeth.
Yeah, definitely brush your teeth. I'm not saying don't do that, but flossing fell by the wayside pretty quickly. I mean, I flossed every day, but I didn't floss after every meal, like when I was out, like I thought I would, because it's really awkward. Also, don't drink turmeric lattes.
What does that mean?
You know how turmeric stains everything, that yellow
Oh,
spice? Uh, I thought like if I just brushed my teeth after, it'd be fine. And I did brush my teeth after and my tongue, and it's still just the tray will go yellow. Like if you drink coffee and you brush your teeth, like it's still there's still residue. Your tray will go yellow sometimes.
do you brush your tray? Do you like toothbrush your tray?
I bought like a baby toothbrush and like baby shampoo to clean
Baby,
the tray.
really? I
Yeah.
was thinking you use Listerine. Like I would just put it in Listerine and
That
use
seems
like
harsh.
oh, I mean, also I did mine way longer ago. Just again, like my Invisalign experience is kind of dated, so who knows how accurate mine is. Other than I do remember each tray hurting, but it's starting to feel better. But yeah, I was told like Listerine, and like I could just brush it with Listerine. And for some reason, they made me feel like toothpaste was harsh. But
Yeah, I heard toothpaste was harsh. I don't know if I read about Listerine. I just read some more. Now that I think about it, it's crazy. I got baby shampoo. I never used it. I never did use it. I just basically rinsed and washed mine with like mild soap. So I don't know. I'm supposed to go in. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow to see if I need more or if I'm done. But like my 10 days I like ended a week ago. And so I put the tray back in recently just in case. And it hurt like a motherfucker because I think my teeth had already moved a ton. So it was like
so,
it just felt like it would start bleeding.
so did they tell you that you use the tray as a retainer or no? Because like I was
They
told.
didn't, and I just assumed that's what I should do, but I haven't done it.
Yeah, so when you're done the whole process, you're supposed to use it as a like a retainer at night. And I did that for years. The only reason I stopped doing it is apparently I have acid reflux at night that I didn't know about. And what was happening is I was having acid reflux while I was sleeping and I was like rotting my teeth. Like I was getting all these cavities. So I'm glad that I did it for a couple of years because I do think you kind of like set it a little bit. You like set your mouth, but I don't use it as a retainer anymore at night because like I should maybe if I wanted to do it during the day, but like it took me too long to kind of come to that conclusion. But I stopped using it as a retainer at night maybe 4 or 5 years ago because I couldn't afford all the dental care. And I don't feel like I have acid reflux, but clearly that was happening. And the thing is like, the retainers you get when you have like typical braces, where it's like a wire across your teeth and like a thing in your
Yeah.
that would be the better one, but because these are trays, it basically the acid reflux gets stuck in the tray and then just like
Did you ever just go back and say, "Can I get wire ones?" Because of that reason?
I wanted to, and then I just never did it.
Okay. Do you feel like your teeth are going back to the way they were?
Sometimes I put in the tray just to see how it feels, and it's like snug, but it's like, and I do a lot of like weird smiling to be like, I think it's all right.
You
I
start
do,
pushing them back yourself.
I do some checking to be like, am I? But like for the most part, like clearly it's moved a little bit because it's tight, but I don't feel like it's undone anything. Like I feel good about my smile and what I did.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Dmitry.
Yeah. Google.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Go first.
Okay, mine's very simple. Um, what do foam rollers do? I have one. I use them.
They're so painful.
Well, this is what's interesting about it. So I did CrossFit twice last week, and they were both very weight. Usually, it's like cardio and weight, and it's like kind of mixed together. This was like heavily like just lots of movement, arms. I can't really like, it was just a lot. And it's the stuff that I hate to do. And I kept it very light because it was a lot of reps. And again, something that I get worried about injuring.
Yeah.
So I am like, keep in mind, I do not do these movements. I am sore. I am sore. I am stiff. I am uncomfortable. And then I'm on a plane. So my entire like upper part of my shoulders up to my neck is just so stiff and uncomfortable. And so I've always foam rolled, and that relieves some of it. So I'm trying not to take drugs. I know drugs could help, but I don't want to take like Advil or anything. So for the first couple of days, I just foam roll, and it really kind of takes a lot of it out of it. And then I'll wake up and it's like a fresh new stiff neck. Like it's just like, you know what I mean? I foam roll a couple of times. But my ex had this foam roller that was hollow in the middle, and he brought it everywhere. Anywhere he traveled for work, he always had a foam roller. And because it was hollow, he could just kind of tie it to his backpack. And I really wish I could have done that because I was in Buffalo and I was in so much pain. And I just felt like, I just feel like something about foam rolling just releases this tension. I almost got a massage, and you know how much I don't want to do that. I was like looking at massages. I was in such pain and so uncomfortable. So I went to the gym in the hotel. They don't have a foam roller, but they had like those like medicine balls, like those heavy balls. So I take this ball that's super stiff, and you know, they have cameras in those things. I'm like rolling on this ball like a crazy person, laying on it and letting it just kind of penetrate like this like knot that's in my shoulders. But I'm just like kind of like Jesusing this ball and just like laying, and it did help. And then finally I just started taking Advil. But like as soon as I got back yesterday, I foam rolled. It takes, I don't know, it takes about immediate takes about 30% of the tension off. And then I feel like as you do it throughout the day, it really, so like it's also been time because the last time I worked out was Wednesday, or like I ran, but the last time I did muscle stuff. So I think time helps, but I don't know. I'm like, what is this? What is it doing? Like, why is it so magical? Like, I'm just rolling on my back, but it says foam rolling is myofascial release technique. So SMR, and it can help relieve muscle tightness, soreness, inflammation, and increase your joint range of motion. It basically, like, it's funny, like you go down like a rabbit hole when it comes to foam rolling of like people thinking it's pure magic, and there's really not a lot of data that says it does anything, but clearly it's just pushing out something. I don't know, I feel pretty dumb about this Google, but it's just supposed to help. Like, and the other thing is like you should really do it like it's a great thing to do before you start working out, just to kind of warm up your muscles and just kind of relax them. It's a great thing to do afterwards. So I'm kind of bad in the sense, sometimes if I get to the gym early, I'll do it before, but for the most part, I foam roll when I'm in pain. I don't do preventative foam rolling, which really my ex used to do that. And I think that's the better way of using it.
I've only ever used foam rollers on my the side of my thigh and the side of my butt, and it hurts so motherfucking badly.
There's certain different stiffnesses that
yeah,
the harder it is, the more it hurts. Like my calves are always tight, so I need to like hold a friend's hand and foam roll. Even getting my calves massaged is like, ugh.
I've got this. I've seen like nicer looking foam rollers. I've got this one that looks like it just looks like a beast of a thing.
No, that one's mean. Like
I'm afraid to use it.
No, it looks like it's helpful, and that one actually has the hole in it, like I was talking about, that you could like tie it to something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so mine is like, I got it from Target years ago. It's much softer. So the ones at the gym has like that one. The gym has like 90 different types of foam rollers. Like it's like a bouquet of them. It's like
but isn't it kind of gross to like roll your skin on something some other sweaty body has been on?
I'm wearing clothes. I don't know what you think I'm wearing.
I don't. Bathing suit.
I'm not naked.
Don't you wear a bathing suit to work out like I do?
Not naked. They're actually really good about cleaning everything. Like both the people that work out there and the people that do the gym. But yeah, it's, I'm gonna shower. We're all gonna shower, and I am wearing clothes. I don't know what you think I do. But no, they're clearly beneficial. I just like, it just feels like it was such a difference to be in Buffalo and I don't have my foam roller, and then when I use it 3 times a day, just feeling so much more comfortable in my stiffness.
sharing things at the gym, just like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. But like, so like I took this class, and it's one of those classes where half the class starts on cardio and the other half starts on weightlifting, and then you switch twice throughout the class. But when it's crowded, like you're assigned a number. So you like, I was on number 5. So I was on number 5 part of the floor, and then I was on the number 5 treadmill. But the girl I was sharing with, like I started on weights, and then I put my weights away under the bench, and then went to the treadmill, and she couldn't even clear off her data on the treadmill, which was annoying, but it's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. But then I go back to the weights, and all her weights, like I felt like I had a roommate. Like, I'm like, put your weights away, like put it under the bench. I put it under the bench. Why you got all these weights strewn about? Now I have to move it because this is where I'm supposed to be.
It is so funny that there's all this like gym unspoken rules of the gym,
like
and
etiquette.
Yeah. And there's like, I came to the gym probably one of the days yesterday, and the floor was wet, like somebody peed on it. And my first thought was like, how bad is this workout? And he was like, pretty bad. Because I was just like, someone left their whole body print on the floor. But then my next thing is like, did you see that? Fucking come on, man. There's rags everywhere. There's like, what are you doing? Like, it's like, if there's 15 people in this gym, it's a pretty big gym, but that was like, you can kind of see there's like little spaces, like you have your own little like floor.
You match it. Your sweatpants match. I can see the Nike label.
Yeah.
Clean it.
I could identify you from that sweat.
You match the sweat. I just etiquette. Yeah, like this in yoga class, like we had our arms outstretched. It was a crowded class, so everything was taken up. And this woman, like I cactused my arms because there was no room to outstretch them. She didn't. And so her hand's just here in my face. And I'm like, this isn't on. You can't do that. I almost like slapped it away. It was right there. I could have. It would have taken nothing because it was just in my face. Like I didn't even exist. I couldn't like I was full of rage.
It's supposed to be your time, and that time that you just kind of like sink into, like,
especially in yoga where you're supposed to be like kind of like
within. I can't namaste because I'm gonna murder you.
I know. Not feeling that sense of peace exactly. But it was almost like, because she just didn't give a shit that I was there. Just get your hand out of my face. But you know how I feel about people not giving a shit that I'm there.
Yeah. I mean, that's a trigger, and then also she should die. But
yeah. I love you so much.
What'd you Google?
So many things. I was trying to decide. It's just like so many dumb things that I'm like, I couldn't decide on one. So I Googled like, how long do you have to wait to take a hot shower after laser hair removal, but also after tattoo removal? Because I got my first of, I guess, several tattoo removals.
Your back, right?
For that lower back tattoo, this tattoo, I never liked it. It wasn't like it went out of fashion and then I decided I didn't like it. Like I never liked this tattoo. I was 18 years old. And the tattoo artist designed it. Like I gave him like an idea of what I wanted, and he designed it. And I was too 18 to say, I hate that. So I went, great, throw that on me forever. And so I've never liked this thing. Isn't
it funny though that's the issue probably with tattoos? Isn't that it's there forever? It's that when you get it too young, you don't know how to assert yourself, and you don't know how to advocate for yourself. And it's like, I find that so fascinating that like, if you had designed it the way you wanted, it wouldn't have been a problem, but you didn't know how to be like, no, I don't like that. I
didn't at all. I was just like, okay, thank you for taking the time to do that. Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm finally getting rid of it. And both itch a lot. Laser, because I got my legs laser hair removed. They itch a lot. Like my lower back itches right now, and I'm just, first of all, everybody has different laser rules. So I asked the woman, I was getting like my lower back hair lasered too.
Okay.
And then I was like, is it okay? Because I'm also getting a tattoo removed. Is that going to be okay? And she was like, oh yeah, it's fine. And I was like, are you sure? She was like, yeah. Okay. And so she removed the laser hair all there. And then I went to get my tattoo, like had the consultation for that. And I told her about the laser hair removal. And she was like, wait, she did that on your tattoo? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, on the tattoo. And I was like, yeah, why? And she was like, she'll burn your skin. She was like, she'll burn you. You she was like, when I do that, I have to like cover people's tattoos in tape so I don't accidentally burn. Like, you can't do that. And I was like, oh, like it really, like people are just lasering it up. Like, you know how like a few episodes ago, I was like, could I just get a laser and machine and just start
Yeah,
lasering
yeah,
people?
yeah.
That's what people actually do.
I know that for a fact. But that's the thing is that um okay, so did she explain how she could burn it? Like what is it about your tattoo?
It's just like the skin is compromised a bit. And so it would go too deep into the skin and it would burn it. I'm not sure exactly. Like I didn't get the full, I was too busy panicking. I was like, oh my God, she could have like really hurt me.
But that, also the thing that I thought she was going to be mad about is that when you get okay, so you get laser hair removal. I've never gotten laser for anything with tattoos, but when you get laser hair, it's like every 6 weeks or something. It's every 4 to 6 weeks, whatever it is. But like, there's all these rules of like, whatever, like don't be in the sunlight, do this, whatever, whatever. There's all this like whatever rules for that laser. But you're not supposed to like. It would be weird if you went to another laser person and got it a week later. Like that would be
Yes.
crazy. Like you shouldn't do that. So what I was thinking is that if she lasered hair here and then you're gonna have a different laser do tattoo, then that might be too much lasering.
Well, that's why I asked. So that's why I was like making sure with both of them that that was okay. And so the first lady's like, no problem. And the like other lady's like, she did what? So yeah, that worried me. So it's like, Jesus, you just never know who you're gonna get.
Yeah. What was your Google?
How long can you wait to shower after you get laser hair removal or laser tattoo removal? And it's basically 48 hours before you can take a hot shower, like 2-3 days.
Really?
Yeah. You're supposed to technically keep your tattoo covered up for 3 days with a bandage. And once you get rid of the bandage, you can just have a normal shower again. But I didn't do that at all. And it was fine. But like, yeah, after laser hair removal, you wait 48 hours. You can't bathe for like weeks. You can't like shave for a week. But yeah, you're not supposed to like soak in water.
It's crazy. As somebody, I haven't done a tattoo, but I don't think I was told any of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Like they're just fucking just random people with lasers just going like, whatever, here, let me do that for you.
You know what fucking drives me nuts? Because I now know enough because what do we know? Like certain meds can't be mixed. They're always asking you like, what meds are you taking when you go to the doctor? Or, certain things that like getting your eyebrows done or whatever. There's certain things where there's all this little protocol. So, I got my eyelashes,
Lifted.
lifted, an eyelash lift or whatever,
Yeah.
which is basically just make it so they're like, hey, I did a while.
I love eyelash lift so much. You're like, you just feel like Betty Boop. Like you feel so pretty.
That's the perfect description. You do. You feel like Betty Boop. But it's nice for like 2 months, like you do nothing and your eyelashes are like, oh, sorry, I did wake up this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally like my hairband, just like, hi. So because I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do this because you're putting chemicals into your eyes, I did a shit ton of research, a crap ton of research. What it does, how it works, what you should do afterwards, how to elongate it, like how to make it last as long as possible, what mascaras to not use after, shit ton of research. So I have it done and I go, how long do I wait to shower? And she goes, like 24 hours. And I was like, okay. And I asked like 4 other questions. She wasn't going to tell me anything. I had to ask the questions and then she answered them. And then some of them, like, it wasn't until I went home and I did more. But I'm like, dude, what are we doing here? Like,
yeah, the same thing happened when I got my eyelashes lifted. I mean, I think she told me everything like after. I'm like, wait, I have to wait how long? Like, this is the kind of shit like you want to know before going in so you can pick the right time.
Exactly. Like I would have showered beforehand or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like somebody was like, oh, do you want to like dissolve the fat under your chin? And I was like, I don't know if that's fat or if that's sagging. So I don't want to fuck with it. But if I had just randomly been like, she was like, if it just take 2 times, and then, if I was like, yeah, sure, and then I did that, it swells up for like 2 to 3 days. You look like a pelican. And then it's just like, you can't go out looking like that. So that's like, you got to take time off. Like, I can't do comedy, you can't just, that's not like a random whimsical decision.
Yeah, 100%. Because even like, we're used to getting our eyebrows threaded. It's red. It's red for anywhere from a couple of hours to like half the day. So that's something that I'll do in the morning. And then I have the whole day for my eyebrows to like chill out. Or it's something I do when I know I'm not going anywhere for the rest of the night. But like,
Yeah.
it's it's so funny where like I
Actually,
I,
yeah.
I
Go ahead.
completely.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
No, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No, but like I completely agree that there's some stuff where you're just like, hey, you need to give me a heads up. Like if I'm gonna like be like that's how I feel about like being a woman and like having your period, where it's just like I now know what to expect and I prepare for it every single month, how inconvenient, what I need to do, what I can't do, all this kind of stuff. And then you go to get a procedure and they're like, oh, you won't be able to walk for a week. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
The time to have told me that was before I made this appointment.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's so funny. But actually, that would have been a better Google, and I'll Google it for next time. It's like, why before your period does things like waxing, threading, laser needles, um, it's a worse reaction. You feel the pain more.
Yeah, I
I've
think
heard it from several people. Yeah.
you like break out more. And I think that's more like I feel like your hairs are like, whoa, no, we need those.
Yeah, but I want to know what it is about hormones that affects that, because it's
Yeah,
weird.
I completely agree. I've heard that and experienced that. Let's get personal.
Yeah.
Okay. What would be the most amazing adventure to go on?
Um, well, go ahead.
Mine's all over the place. I have a bunch of different. My first one is just like anything to do with animals. I don't think I necessarily want to go on like a safari because that just seems like very like rich white people bullshit. But I definitely do want to go somewhere that's off the beaten path and like we're walking somewhere and they're like, that's a tiger. Oh look, there's a moose over there. These are two different countries, obviously.
Like,
I don't
what
know if I'm in a
dreamland is
fantasy
this?
world. A tiger and a
That's
moose.
a giant human-sized cat. It's just waving at you.
But like I love I've noticed like clearly I love animals in general, but what I've really noticed is I follow a lot of like nature photographers, like people taking pictures of foxes and big cats and whatever. But I definitely have always it'd be just cool to like, and again, not in captivity, like to be like in India and like be somewhere that's like truly off the beaten path and just experience a different culture, but like I don't know. I want to like walk somewhere and like high five a bamboo or not bamboo, baboon or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting because I, I could totally see you high-fiving a baboon. Um, you said that, and I'm like, adventure. So like I did the little like flip through different adventures in my mind catalog. And no, none of them appealed to me. I'm like, safari, God no.
Yeah.
What about like in the sea? You can go like look at animals under the sea. No, definitely not. Okay, do you want to like skydive, like a mountain adventure? Fuck no. Definitely not. Rainforest advent? No. I hate adventure. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to sit at cafes in Paris and smoke cigarettes. That's what I want to do with my life.
So funny about that is like as you're saying all this, it's like the Great American Race or whatever, where they're like in a hot air balloon and then they're like they're backpacking and then even I struggle with it. I'm very similar to you. Even I struggle with that because my thing is like we're not camping. I'm not peeing outside. You can't make me. Um,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have no problem unplugging and being away from Wi-Fi, but I have so much anxiety that I was like, a cell phone needs to work in case of emergency. Like I have to feel safe.
Mhm.
And that's what I worry is that, you're in the woods somewhere and you're doing whatever. And then you're just like, cool, I broke my leg and I'm like dragging it across. I have too many doomsday things go wrong scenarios to enjoy fun. But yeah, I mean I barely like stuff that takes any effort whatsoever, like going to the beach. I'm just like, ooh, sand. I was like, hey.
A beach adventure. I mean, like, yeah, I just even like a somewhere remote with a beach. Like I like beaches. I don't want to be remote. I don't want to be, it's like you said, I need to know that if I broke a leg, the hospital was not far.
Because the truth is like what a couple months ago, all these billionaires were going to space, and it was like, do I want to go to space?
That was another adventure that flipped through my mind. I was like, space? No. I, I'd have a
I,
panic attack.
yeah, I don't. I like experiences. I think I need to be with somebody that's already been there before. Somebody that feel like I need was it like a Sherpa? Like I need like an adventure Sherpa,
Yeah.
whether it's space, which I guess is like an astronaut Sherpa. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need somebody that's going to be like, we got this. I've done this 400 times.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I need, and it's funny as somebody that's like toured around the world, that's already outside of my comfort zone. Like that took so much stretching of my fears and personality even to do that. Um, I don't know. But I want to see stuff. Like it's funny. I just want to get there. It's almost how I feel about flying. Like I want to go far. Like I want to go to India and Australia and places that are far away, but I just want to like be there. And then when I'm there, I just want to be wherever else I'm supposed to be. Like I clearly don't like the adventure part as well.
Yeah. I'd like to just dip in and peek in and be like, oh, those are cool. Let's leave.
I think I like reading about adventure.
Yeah. Climb a volcano? No. Do you remember my friend Mikey? You know Mikey.
Yeah.
He's a world traveler. He's been everywhere. He's made a lot of friends along the way. So like he was in Thailand. He's told the story so many times and better because he lived it, but and got into a motorcycle accident and then like was too broken to do anything but like type into his battery like almost out cell phone on Facebook, help. That is all he typed. It was something along the line, just like help me or help. But he had made so many friends worldwide that they communicated with each other what that could mean. Where is he now? Oh, he's in Thailand. Let's try to pinpoint exactly where. And because of their like coming together and piecing together the information everybody had about where he might have been, they were able to like call the local police who came out and like ambulance came out and got him and took him to the hospital. Like fucking
Insane.
amazing. Yeah. But I don't want to have to cultivate a web of friends in case
I fall off a motorcycle in Thailand.
Yeah. He was actually like famous for that when
yeah, he did a bunch of interviews, right?
Yeah, I brought him up on stage because he came out to a show and I was like, oh, my friend Mikey's here. And I said like the story on stage and then somebody else in the audience went, oh, I read about that.
I remember it was incredible and like so scary, and he was in the hospital for a long time and he was pretty beat up, wasn't he?
Oh yeah. He was I think he broke like ribs and stuff. He was in a bad shape.
Yeah, he broke a lot of stuff because I remember he was in the hospital for a while. He's just an incredible person because like what is he, like a coder? Like he can pretty much do his job anywhere, so he does.
Yeah. What are they called, like digital nomads or something?
Yeah, I've always found, and like the amount of times he's reached out to me to be like, I'm here, and I'm like, how?
He's always here. I love him. He's always like, I'm in London. I'm like, do you live here?
Like I live nowhere. No, I find him so impressive, and it's interesting because my other answer is like what also prevents me from adventures is language barrier. So it's like it's all anxiety based of like if something bad happens, I don't know what to do or who to go to. But then also you're in a country and you don't know how to communicate. So like there was a advertisement, like a billboard that was talking about like Google Translate, or like there was something like a new app or something where it's like you can learn 50 like you just know 50 languages. So you could literally be like, hi, my name is Liz, and it's like, hi, my name is Liz, and whatever. Like it just now there's no reason to learn a language because this app does it. And I'm like, that's a game changer. Like just to be able to go somewhere and be, you know what I mean, and be on the same page.
Google Maps was a game changer. Like you know, there's no getting lost anymore. You just put it in your phone.
I completely agree. I actually I started doing the road when it was MapQuest. And the amount of time, because if there's construction, if it's old information, you are lost and you're back to being that like woman that's like at a gas station at 2 a.m. being like, am I still in Pennsylvania? Like you're just
Yeah.
like, so as a woman, Google Maps, and as a woman that travels all over the country and late at night and all over the world, really, Google Maps is a game changer. I am adventurous in other countries and am the comedian I am today and self-sufficient because of Google Maps. Absolutely a game changer. I cannot read maps. I still get scared when somebody brings one out. My dad does that thing where he like makes a map and I'm like, Dad, I have Google Maps. Why are you drawing
Yeah.
again?
What is this? Stop it.
My dad's like, okay, you're gonna make a left at the Dunkin' Donuts. I was like, Dad, there's 16 Dunkin' Donuts in this town. Like that is unhelpful information.
Yeah.
But you're right. That is so funny how we're going back progressive wise, just with like Roe versus Wade or whatever. But for as a woman, the thing in my generation that I feel that has made me the most independent is Google Maps.
I feel like the only city Google Maps didn't work in was Edinburgh, just because there was like 7 levels to Edinburgh, like as far as vertical goes.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you go down this road. I'm like, yeah, but this road at what level? And it's just like, it'll get you lost because it doesn't have any fucking idea either.
Cities, they're just kind of like, they're also just like a guy being like, well, we're just going to draw a square and write a couple of things down.
I just honestly think that half the people ended up at my shows at Edinburgh just because they couldn't find the show they were supposed to be at. Like, I don't know, this one's fine.
But yeah, I have to say, like, I am more adventurous than I ever thought I would be, but I have so much more, like, it'll be interesting to see what apps. I really do think this like language translate app is going to be like the Google Maps of my future.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, this is episode 2 of No Topic. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, we don't have your feedback yet because the first episode airs tomorrow, but we are looking forward
about it.
Yeah.
But also we still love fan mail. So we would love to know, what's the adventure that you would want to do? Like what is, or what are the adventures you have done? Like something that you did that you're like, it changed. Like, oh crap. What is it in, I hate my brain right now, where the sky turns like green and whatever. What's that called?
Oh, I know.
Northern Stars?
Yes,
Lights.
Northern Lights.
Like
you start with an N.
I'm getting somewhere. Like being like having to like get up early or be somewhere for like the northern, like I would love to do that stuff. Like I saw something when I was out of town that something cool and visual was happening in New York and I missed it because I was out of town. But like I love that kind of stuff. Like I would go hunt for the Northern Lights or whatever. I would do that shit.
Yeah, not me. But
with
yeah.
But
just like, yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can write to us at twonon-doctors@gmail.com. That's the number 2, full word doctors@gmail.com. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.